Hey, welcome back to another episode of A to Z, you guys. Today, we got some very interesting stuff. Some events happened in old Aaron's life that he's
Yeah.
going to tell us about. If you haven't been keeping up, you guys are in for a ride. So, let me introduce the show. Hi, this is A to Z. I am the resident Z. My name is Zero Rimson. To my bottom right is my man Aaron Chase. I represent the Yang, the positive, the super airy fairy, the naive, and he represents the realist, the pessimist, the darkness, the yin. And together, somewhere between us, there's entertainment that people watch sometimes. So today's episode,
Aaliyah.
Aaron has a story to tell about the dangers of street stand-up. I'm going
You,
to eat rice, and his dog is cameoing. Hello, Aaliyah.
you know, the irony is I wasn't even doing. All right, so basically, I hit the street in Upland with KJ.
Okay.
So I was out there for a while, then KJ showed up. And
As he does.
yeah, as he does every now and again. And we're doing our thing, and I've actually gotten better at everything he taught me. Him and Aaliyah. I got better, and I can feel this flow that's kind of coming. So we're hanging out. We pack up and everything. We're sitting on the bench that's right in front of where I normally perform. And then I'm looking at KJ, and then all of a sudden I'm getting up off the ground.
Huh.
That's the experience for me.
Huh.
And I'm confused, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Okay.
And then KJ, this is all fuzzy, obviously, but KJ is like, you need to fucking settle down. At least be cute in front of the camera.
Like you can't be like here and not here.
Right? So
What
it's
a
fucking
giant,
ridiculous.
what a monster.
Yeah. So KJ, I've never seen KJ shook like this ever. And so I assume it's worse than, from his perspective, I can't even imagine. And so cops come.
Wait. Did you not get a visual on the guy? Like what was the
I
guy?
did not see. I do not know who this person is. I didn't. It was literally wherever the perspective of Aaliyah is, just from behind me. Like I had no. All of a sudden, it's like I'm getting attacked.
Okay. Did KJ inform you of anything he saw? Like, did anybody see anything?
He said that apparently the dude walked past and then went around and then hit me and started yelling about something. I can't remember what it was. I remember it as him something about a baby or something. It was a black dude too. It was a black dude.
Okay, so this was like, was this one of your homeless crazies? Like,
I don't know. Because the people he was with, apparently, and you would have to talk to KJ about this, but
okay, yeah, I think this requires a cameo that we don't have.
yeah, man. Are you able to
I was about to say, do you know if this thing supports 3 people? Like, can you get somebody to hop on? And
I don't know.
He might also have a job.
No, he's a comic, I think.
I'm pretty sure he's a comic.
Pretty sure he's just a comic. Yeah. Do you want to? How do we do that?
Yeah, I'm like, you could call him, see if he's free, if he could show. I would love to know like any more information about.
I don't think.
Because so far,
Yeah.
from the perspective of a person who got sucker punched, the story is I was standing, I got up from the ground, and then I was talking to police about how like I don't know what happened.
Honestly, I don't think
He's gonna have
this. I don't think that this podcast would stay at all lighthearted if he were to join it, because based off of his reaction to even he didn't describe in detail what happened. I assume he's doing that on purpose. So
Well, I'm fine. Okay, I understand that my job is as a resident Yang.
yeah,
At the same time, we don't shy away from darkness here.
that's
Have a
fair.
lot of
But
dark conversation. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. If you want to keep it on the up and up, that's chill.
there's one of those ignorance is bliss moments of like I'm okay, and I don't need to know the details of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Like that's not gonna make me feel better.
Yeah, it's just gonna mess you up more.
Yeah. So context. I got sucker punched. Whoever's listening, are people watching? Are they watching?
Right now, one person, and now Carly's here.
Okay.
But yeah, no,
Hi,
that's it.
So so they put me on a little stretcher thing, and
Okay.
from what I remember, the drive to the hospital was actually really close, or maybe I was dazed. I don't know. So I sit there and stay for a little bit. I remember this old lady kept wanting to talk to me. I had my mask. My face was really swollen too. Not to say it's not swollen now, but it was way worse because it was right afterwards. So I had my mask on. I don't think she understood. Like, I don't want to have a conversation with you about pudding cakes or whatever the fuck you were talking about. And so they take me to the back. They look me. They check me out. They're like, all right, well, you are okay. You're gonna need to ice it out. You're gonna need to. You're okay. Here's some fucking Tylenol. And you don't seem to have a, I think, well, like if I remember correctly, which I think is going to go partly to the story, maybe mild, like as mild as a concussion as possible in a situation like that. So like a very, so mild to the point where the doctors felt totally fine with me like driving home. Right. So that makes me feel better in a weird way. That the doctors were like, this sucks, but you're okay.
Okay.
And KJ drove with me too. And so
wait, they put you on a stretcher. Did the hospital drive you to the hospital?
Yeah, the ambulance.
Did the hospital drive you?
Yeah, the hospital came, it floated over. And
they built the whole building around you.
Yeah, they were like, this guy's so funny. We need to make sure he's okay. No, so I'm he's with me in the car. He tries to drive my car, but it's stick shift, and he can't drive stick shift. But well, yeah, there you go. One reason not to buy stick shift. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
How have you gotten the bill yet?
No.
Yeah. Because every time I've heard this, and it might be rumor, it might be real. I don't know. I'm still growing. I'm still becoming an adult. I'm pretty sure they charge you for like riding in the ambulance. Like it's a really whack thing, much like how you went in to get a checkup and they just said ice it essentially. Like I've gotten checkups like that and then got a bill back that was like $700. So
well, if that happens, I'm going to be very, very upset.
Yeah, hopefully they're chill about it. But that's a like sneaky. That's a like sneaky thing that the industry. It's extremely expensive. Yeah. It's like, it's a sneaky thing that the medical industry does where they're like, we're helping you. We're helping you. Okay, now that you're okay and you're all right.
Okay, settle down. Please. Jesus fucking Christ. You're giving me anxiety. Not you. Like, it's terrible. You're going to go in debt and die alone forever. All right, calm down. Hold on. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to be positive here. Let me be positive.
Imagine a helicopter ride.
Imagine. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. The government sucks. I know.
But
so I drive home. KJ rides with me back.
Okay.
And KJ was like seemed to be in like revenge mode, like end of Boys in the Hood mode. He was like
he was trying to fight.
Yeah. And understand, like, again, this is from my perspective. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have friends like that because when you're, as much as people don't like you, there's a lot of people that love you. For those of you that know you for you, KJ, I assume, is one of those people because he's been around. At least in that situation, like your friend just got attacked, and when you're an innocent, like when you're in like complete right, you were minding your own business, not hurting anybody. When an innocent gets attacked, it riles something up in you. Like innately, and especially when it's like your friend, you get into that mode of like, okay, we gotta go get that person. Because I'll tell you my sucker punch story after we get through with yours, but I have also been sucker punched before.
There's something, and it's funny, there's a piece of me when I was sitting in like the waiting room, like, should I be ashamed as a man? And then immediately I was like, no!
Yeah, you had no point.
What's up?
You had no chance.
It's one of those things where because it's still not fun to be fucking.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
You know,
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like going through everything, and I'm like, there was a moment of shame creeping in, and then immediately I was like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I was sitting there minding my business, and he came from behind. Of all of the below the belt, unmasculine ways of going about this.
Oh yeah.
At least be like, hey, bro, I don't like you, or whatever the fuck you need to say.
Yeah, give me a chance to like that. There's a difference between a fight and an ambush. And like when you ambush somebody, like you're not. I know it's like not the purpose, but you're not like cool. You're not cool or tough or strong when you like sneak up on you, because you could sneak up on anybody and hit them with a one shot and then take off, which I can only assume is what happened. Is he must have did his thing and then took off.
From what I understand, I think he like hit me again. I think when I was on the ground, I wasn't aware of what's going on. And I think KJ and another guy came over, and he was talking shit, and then he like went away. That's what I understand of it. Regardless, so yeah, but it's funny. Like I'm fine.
Okay.
That's like mentally and emotionally, at least right now, I'm sure some sort of trauma will come creeping in. But
somehow I'll blame myself for this.
No, you know what? I think all of this time that we've been doing this, really, over time, there's been a shift in the way my life is, the way I treat my life, the way I look at my life. There's just been a shift in how I handle my emotions. And I mean, you're watching this. I don't know if you would agree or disagree, but there's just been a shift where I'm like, all right, well, take a second. I'm upset about this, understandably so. I have the right to be upset. But let's look at this right now in the moment objectively. I'm not being punched in the face right now. I'm actually in a room with an air conditioner. That'll be a great part of your routine at some point. Oh, it will be. But I'm in a comfortable air-conditioned house. I'm intact.
That's true.
If a bill comes, I'll deal with it when it comes. Right now, it's not coming, at least to my knowledge.
All right.
And I don't even need to write wake up on my hand. Like I've practiced this enough to where it's in my brain to where I can handle a moment like this pretty well.
Well, that's good.
All right, your turn.
Oh, I thought there was more to your thing. That's why I like let you have the thing.
I'm okay.
Well, that's again. I repeat. It's the thing of like, and at the end of the day, it's one of those things that does put, and not that you need it to be like, give you a perspective or anything. Like you always preface doing whatever you've been doing with like, it is dangerous. And this is what he's been talking about is like, there is no security. There is no guard. Like people are people. And I don't know, again, it could have been from the street stand-up, could just be a crazy being a crazy. That's how much it's like, none of it gets in. Like when, and it's also that weirdness that like, I know he thinks he did something, right? And that he's like showing you and telling you and saying what he needs to say. But when you like essentially knock somebody out, trying to yell your point at them before you walk away really does, they're not taking it in. They're not like, huh.
I don't even know what I said.
Yeah, I don't know what if you say, like, again, it's like you don't even have any idea what it was. Like, was it the streets? Was it something you said? Was it something you did beforehand? Was it he was somebody from the past who like knew about you or something?
And this, by the way, I think this is coming down to this weird fundamental difference about our lives. Not to say that you don't have a sucker punch story, which it sounds like you do, but like, I'm not very surprised. I'm surprised. There's a level of shock just as a human being. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, this has been my life. Like, this has literally been my life of metaphorical sucker punches from behind constantly. And so when people wonder why the fuck I've been so angry or mean or bitter or frustrated or a Debbie Downer, why I'm the yin to your yang, it's because in many points in my life, I've just been a kid put in a situation. This one's a little different. This one's a little bit fair enough. I'm doing street stand-up, so that adds an element to it. But even that is meant for positive, like the intention is positive.
Yeah, it also doesn't give anyone the right to attack.
Right. But it's like that's literally been my life. The intention I have generally is meant to be positive, but I keep getting put in these situations that are fucking crazy and terrible and weird, and I don't know. I sort of know why.
I have a vague idea. So, have you ever been in a fight before?
Yeah.
What were like your usual fight experiences? Would you
Getting
say
jumped.
handful?
Getting
Oh,
jumped.
you've been jumped?
Yeah.
When did you
There's
get
another.
jumped?
What's up? What?
When did you get jumped?
It's a long story, and I'm actually working on just not talking about it anymore. I said it on. I know. I said it on Danny Frank's podcast. So when it comes out, it's coming out tomorrow, I think. I would suggest just listening to it. In that point, I made it short. I'm working on just like, in the same way that this little, what's up?
Putting stuff behind you.
Yeah. I've come to realize that venting is healthy to a point.
Mm.
I think I understood. I was always like, you got to vent, you got to get it out. And it was like, well, I'm not getting it out if I keep fucking talking about it over and over again. So I've had my many years to vent about this story. You still there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, so I've had these many years to vent about this particular story and other stories. And now it's like, all right, okay, COVID's happening. This is a fresh start. It's a restart mode.
Mm.
Now life starts here. Let's move from here. So I would suggest just watching Danny. I know, I'm sorry that's cryptic.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine. I mean, if you want to help another podcast with content, that's cool. But like, nah, it's really chill. It's all good. What's the going forward now? How are you moving forward with doing your street stuff? Or has it at all? Are you just like, that was a fluke? Like, where are you with it?
Oh, Carly, yo! Sucker Punch sounds like a good name for a comedy special, too. I don't know. We might have to...
Not untrue.
I'm sorry, man. What were you saying?
I was just saying how, like, moving forward, has this adjusted how you're going to handle yourself street stand-up wise? How long it's going to take you to get back out there? Like, has it affected you in any more than, like, that? Or do you consider it like, that was a part of the stuff that happens sometimes, and then you're just going to move forward?
And Matt, what you just said there with a little more intensity.
Like, that's just what happens and moving forward?
Like, I'm not nonchalant about it. That I recognize that is an incredibly... If he had a gun, if I hit my head the wrong way, like, there are so many scenarios. And so I am present and I understand that, like, all right, well, at this very moment, that's not what happened. I'm not going to dwell on that, but I still acknowledge, like, they're in many ways very lucky. And so it's like, it's the way I treat stand-up. It's like, all right, you go up there, you bomb, you get heckled, you fuck it up, and then you're like, all right, well, now I know not to do certain things or what to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm never going to be out there alone again, ever. I wasn't out there alone that time, luckily, but I'm never going to be out there alone again. Never going to just hang out at a spot that I perform at anymore, because clearly people will recognize me. And I've got a cameraman as a filmmaker, and he wants to be a filmmaker. Before this happened, I actually hit him up. He got all this equipment and everything, and I've decided that... That
reminds me about a thing, but I'll bring it up after.
Okay. So I got this filmmaker. He has all this nice equipment, and I was like, hey, man, can you come out, film me? We're going to practice. We're going to learn how to do this, and eventually we'll film a real comedy special. And he's like, yes, absolutely. He was excited about it. So I'm going to have him out there. Every time I'm out there, I'm going to coordinate with him. So I probably won't be out there as often, and it's not going to be as random, sporadic. But I'm going to coordinate a little more, and I'm probably going to shorten the amount of time I'm there as well. And then I'm going to, as soon as I'm done, we're fucking leaving. We're not hanging out. This isn't a game. This is a show. As far as, like, you, fucking Joe Rogan doesn't finish a set and then walk in the crowd and, like, no, what's up, guys? Like, so, yeah.
Okay. side tangent before I get into my sucker punch story. Is the guy who's doing the filming on you on the street? Was that why you were asking? For context, you texted me and was like, "Hey, are you into film at all?" and all this stuff. And I was like, I record myself for my stuff, but like besides that, not really. I'm like the writer more than I am the like producer or director. And you're like, oh, okay. Was that the project? Like, is that the project you were trying to work on? Was just filming your street stand up more?
Yep.
And you're working towards building a special, or are you like, so like each one is kind of a mini test run as you build towards making that? Like, what is
what I'm going to start
if you
doing?
care to divulge, again, I don't. If you're trying to keep trade secrets or whatever, that's fine too.
What I'm going to start doing is filming the street stand up. It's pretty much improvised anyway. It's not my material. And even if I do start building material, I'll just cut that shit out and then I'll put it out on YouTube. We'll put it out consistently, build a following that way. And he'll learn different techniques throughout it. So I'm learning how to do stand up. He's learning how to film stand up. We'll understand each other over time. And then when I'm ready to try to film something, I can do it DIY. I don't need a bunch of bullshit. I have a guy who understands exactly how I think, who's filmed me for hopefully years, and I'll have enough money to pay for all of the shit. And so I can just make it on my own.
Okay. Well, that's very, like you said, DIY, very crafty of you. Okay. My sucker punch story is I'm a little tiny bit less of an innocent. Like a little bit. Not by much, but a little bit. So it's club time. As you guys know who likes me or watches me, you know that I have a love affair with the club because it has everything that I like. It has dancing and it has beautiful women. And those are my two kryptonite. I can't fight music, and it's really hard for me to say no to beautiful girls. While I'm at night, I'm doing what any single man is doing, and I'm hitting up girls in the street. The bars have let out, and so now we're doing that single people who don't want to go home wander, where you're just kind of around. And outside of the bar that I had stayed at, it was O'Donovan's in downtown Pomona. And I was like, I saw this, like, I think it was like a group of 2 girls sitting on the windowsill. And I go to talk to them, and they're very much, right off the bat, they're giving me a lot of the like, okay, like at first they're talking to me, and then it's very clear that they're like kind of like putting up with me, and I'm like, okay, actually before that, as I'm talking to them normally, I'm like, hey, how's you guys' night going? Good, all the stuff. This dude, muscly, like thick boy, like he hits the gym and he got built. He's over to the side talking to this other girl, and they're chilling. They're in the cut. They're doing their own thing. On the other side, like over there, I'm talking to these girls, and then this dude chimes in, and he looks at me, and he's like, hey, how's your night going? I'm like, oh, it's going good. Like, thanks for asking. Just thought he was being friendly. I misread the social cue that apparently that was his warning shot. That was him going like, you good? Like, you good? Like, step away. I didn't see that. He didn't give me any of that energy. Like, literally, he looked at me. He was like, hey, how's your night going? I went,
Zero. I'm sorry. I feel like he did give you the energy, and you're Mr. Fucking.
I didn't feel the energy from him at all. Especially
because you can't feel next.
Because he went. Because no, look, this is how he went. He hit me with this. He went like, hey. Oh no. He went like, hey, you having a good night? I said, yeah. He went, okay, cool. And then he went back to talking to this girl, and I was like, that was weird. I was like, oh, that was strange.
You have a force field of positivity around you that just won't. All right,
yeah,
what you're saying?
I didn't see it at all. So I go back to talking to the girls. Literally, my brain was like their vibe. I was like, yeah, they're not fun. I'm not having a good time. I'm literally about to say, it was nice meeting you. I go to start saying nice meeting you, and then I just feel a force from the left side of me. Like just that. And I stumble over to the side, and he hit me so hard that I went, the hit knocked me out. My foot hit the ground. I woke up from the hit, but everything was off. Like
Right.
everything was doubled up and it was just off. And so I'm like stumbling back trying to get my vision to line up, and all I see is Roydy McRoyd coming at me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. And then this other girl, completely unrelated, steps in and she's like at me. She's like, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. And I'm like,
Run and never return. Yeah.
I'm like, that's not cool. Like, I'm trying to talk like we're like he violated the social contract. I was like, that's not cool. He shouldn't be hitting people. You can't just hit people, man. That's not okay. And like, she's like, you gotta get out of here. And he's like, what? And I'm like, he can't just hit people. And then I said the classic, like, I got really into my like Karen, because I was like, I'ma call the police. And then like you saw him and his crew go, oh, and they started like getting their stuff, and they like quickly walked to their car. Now
They weren't expecting you to call it.
Yeah, and this is a story where like the cops let you down. So I call the police. I see them in the car, and it makes sense what they tell me in a certain context, given what you know of the Trayvon story, given that I'm the person calling and following a person. They don't want me doing that, being vigilante justice. At the same time, I'm the victim calling my assaulter, and I'm being like, hey, I just got hit. Like, send somebody. I'm seeing them right now. And they're like, where are you? I'm like, I'm right here. They're getting into a white truck. They're like, don't move. I'm like, but they're getting in a car and they're driving away right now. I can see them. They're driving. Don't move. Okay, I'll stay here, but I feel like this is the part where they're gone now. Yeah, they're gone. And they're like, okay, we're sending a cop to you. I'm like, cool. I don't know what you're going to do now that they're gone, but all right. So keep in mind, this is in downtown. Oh, he's gone. I got to wait. Waiting for the thing to load. Waiting for the thing to load. I bet his phone died. Well, this is what we call an intermission, ladies and gentlemen, when Aaron's phone overheats, and so you're forced to talk to just me. Tiny thing, completely not related to what's been going on. My birthday's tomorrow, August 13th, 1993. Your boy's turning 27, an age nobody cares about. What am I doing for it? Working, and then pretty much nothing else because, COVID shut down everything. And I honestly don't want to be a source of, like, people gathering. That's the only reason. Like, I've been talking to my friend about buying a speaker system so that I could go and do some man on the street stuff. But I don't know. It's way big-headed of me to think this way. But there's a part of me that's concerned that if I get what I want, which is to, like, grow an audience so that they come out to see me, that then I would be a source of, like, people. Release birthday, good sir. Thank you. That I would be a source of people gathering, and I don't want to be. I just don't want that screenshot, somebody taking a picture of the gathering and being like, we're here to watch Zero. And then I'm like, oh no, like this, I don't want to be that guy. But, that's also way ahead of myself. Like, I don't even know if I'd be good at it. Like, Aaron's got it down to a T. All right, he's back. Overheat your phone?
I guess.
Something happened. Neither here nor there. Where did I leave you?
You were calling the cops, and they were driving off, and you were like, "Don't drive off." You, yeah.
Darn, you kids.
Yeah,
You're supposed to wait for the justice system to handle you.
Right.
But so then cop pulls up, again, I'm in downtown Pomona, and if you've ever been to downtown Pomona, there's always like 3 or 4 cop cars just hanging around, just waiting for stuff to pop off. It takes a solid 15 minutes at the main crosswalk for them to send one car around the corner to me. Guy gets out of the car and he's like, hey, what happened? I give him the rundown of what happened, and he's like, okay, so here's the thing. We can, if you want, you know what they look like. We can go through the process. We could find them. We could pick their car. We could do a warrant or whatever. We could figure it out. And we could know who they are and pull them down, all that stuff. We could go through all that, but then you would have to find time in your work schedule, go down to the police station, do all the, like, going to court and all this stuff. And I don't know where your money is for a lawyer and all that stuff. He didn't say all this. This is just what I'm taking. Essentially what he's saying to me is, this is going to take a lot of time and money to get you a tiny bit of justice, let alone, like, if you actually get him. And that's a whole to-do. So we could do that. Or honestly, like, you're way better off to just, like, walk it off. And I was like, well, then I guess I'm walking it off.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you say that, and given this is the conversation, and already you guys are, like, given what I just had go down with the phone, I'm sure that's exactly the protocol, and nothing's going to happen to that guy. Or even if something did happen, he seems like the vengeful type that might have somebody on the outside. And I'm like you at the time, I was a little bit, like, known in the area just because I club really hard. Not for my stand-up, just for being the guy that dances, like, people knew. And so, like, I was too easily found where I knew it would be hard to find a, like, 5'3" buff Mexican in Pomona. Like, that might be a hard description to lock down.
Yeah.
Was it also Halloween? I remember it was around Halloween because they were wearing
the Spider-Man outfit while you got hit?
Huh?
It would just make it'd be really funny if you were wearing, like, a Spider-Man outfit and he was the Green Goblin. It would be a whole thing.
You're not white. But, no, yeah, I just remember because one of his girls was in, like, a sexy nurse thing. And by the way, at the time when he asked me the whatever, I didn't realize they were together at all because he was staying, again, way over there talking to somebody else. Neither here nor there. They all left together. I let it go. But, yeah, I also swelled up in the face. And then I came home and told my friends, and my main friend was like, that's a B-word move. Like, anybody who's sucker punching, especially, like, he actually did have some weight on him. Like, he could have easily got me in a, like, regular fight situation. I'm not a strong dude. Like, you could take me. The idea that you need to sucker punch me is hilarious. But
that's how I felt about my shit too. It was like I was probably gonna try. If he had come up to me, I probably would have been like, "Hey man, calm down. Come on, what did I say? I'm sorry. Right. What did I say?" Like, I would have talked to him a little bit. I'm not trying. I'm damn near 30. I don't need to be getting into street fights. I'm a grown man. Like, I'm old. I don't need to do this shit anymore. I'm too old for this shit. Or whatever. But you know what's weird? Sometimes I have this, like, I don't know if it's a paranoid thought. I don't know how to word it. Okay. Have you ever heard about what happened to Sam Kinison and the other, Roseanne? Joe Rogan talked about it. The head injuries?
No, never mind. I got nothing.
So apparently Roseanne and Sam Kinison were both normal people. And then they got hit. Both of them got hit by cars. Both of them got head injuries. And then it flipped a switch and it changed something.
Huh.
Apparently that's a thing. That's a real thing that can happen. Same thing happens when people hit their head.
Change something in what way?
In their personalities.
Oh.
Or they're like it happens with people with accents. People have gotten people have been from like Texas but speak with British accents and shit.
Yeah, I've heard that. I can't remember. Somebody had a bit about that was really funny. It's like somebody got hit and all of a sudden was like British, and I was like,
Segura.
Yeah. But
so
go ahead.
There's a little piece of me that's like, what if he accidentally unlocked my comedic potential?
What if he pressed my
What if he pressed the comedy button in my brain and I skyrocket into success?
And now I'm really funny.
Yeah,
I thought I had it. Turns out I needed to get punched in the head.
Yeah, I only say that because there's a weird And I don't know if it's shock or if it's over a time of this process that we've been doing together and whatnot. But there's this weird piece of me that feels loose, that feels you're a Super Saiyan comedian now. That's how it works. You go into the hyperbolic time chamber of fists. And then, no, but there's this little piece of me that feels totally at ease. It's hard to describe. Maybe Fight Club was right.
Oh, like something about that happening to you relaxed in a meta way.
I don't know. I feel, since then at least, I feel very shockingly calm about it. Like, remember my reaction to the fucking girl at McDonald's?
Yes.
Remember my reaction to the girl riding the bike?
Yeah.
Now, think about my reaction to getting sucker punched in the face and having to go to the hospital.
Yeah, that is weird. Right?
Isn't that trippy? Yeah. And I don't think I have I don't believe I have brain damage. I think I'm trying to trust the doctors, and they seem very. I wasn't bleeding. My ears were didn't fill up with blood or anything. I feel fine. But I think that's what's weird is that I feel fine. Like, I don't feel angry. I don't feel bothered.
It could be, again, not to pseudo psychoanalyze here, but that's what we do. It could be that happening to you was so. It was so. You're so 100% the victim there that there's really nothing for you to. There's obviously something to latch on to that is like, that dude shouldn't have done that. I could have been saying anything. All the innocence that you were, right? But the white girl bicycle, the lady at McDonald's, those hit, again, if I had to take more time and actually think this through, I think those hit a more personal button. Like, you being attacked falls right in line with what your life has been. You know what I mean? Like, the way that you described that you as a little kid being sucker punched, like emotionally, physically, all the stuff, that's right in line. Like, to tell the story, Aaron was out and about and then some guy sucker punched him. Makes sense for all the other stories that happened to Aaron. Even you said every single time that you do street stand-up how dangerous it could be. That lines up. But you at the stoplight where the bicycle lit girl rides by you and she's like, or look, oh, you think you're doing something. Like, that's putting an idea on you that isn't in line with who you actually are. It's a release of pent-up energy, almost like edging yourself for several weeks and then releasing that giant load post-nut syndrome.
Well, that's true. That's what it is. This is the only way I can come now. I need somebody to come up from behind me and punch me in the face when I'm not looking, and it has to be right at the point of ejaculation. It's a very hard process now, but we'll get there. I'll figure it out.
You know how you said it unlocks something in you? It unlocks something. Yeah, that's my new thing. But yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
it could be anything.
It could be any number of reasons. It could be because of all of the mental fucking work I've been doing throughout the quarantine. It could be a bunch of stuff. But regardless, very kinky, says Carly. But regardless, I mean, if I feel fine, then cool.
Yeah, I say ride that way. I'm not going to sit here and try to unwire a good thing. But yeah, it is a very interesting reaction. It's one of those, like, I cannot relate. I too have been upset with people. I cannot imagine being the type of, like, I'm going to, like, I mean, I'm already not a fighter, but even more so to, like, if I was gonna fight somebody over something, I want them to know. I want them to know why I'm fighting them. I don't want to be like, yeah, got you, and then, like, I said my piece. And I can't imagine it was anything even close to intelligent or any of that stuff. Not that it matters, because you could make hard arguments as, like, isn't that always the discrepancy, right? Is, like, not brain. Well, I mean, yeah, like brains and brawn. Batman versus Bane. It's like, when trying to reason with that kind of energy, like, at a certain point you'd like to believe that you can talk most people down from that kind of thing. That if he did come up and say, like, man, if you don't shut up, that you could say words and convince him. We'd like to believe that we've evolved past our DNA animal instincts. But in general, once, especially dudes, once they're in that, like, fight mentality, they just want to fight anything. Like, there was one time I was out, too, and there was a dude not even, like, related to what I was doing, not even close to. It was just very clear he was looking to fight somebody. He wanted to fight somebody. So he was walking down the street. I did the oopsie, like the homeless person, of making eye contact with him. Even though I was talking to somebody else, I just saw him walking, and I was like, okay. And then he was like, what? Like, what do you want to, like, come on, let's go. I'm like, I'm not going to fight you, dude. Like, what are you doing? Where are your friends? And I'm like, who let you out like this? And he just kept, like, trying to, he wasn't hearing me. He just, like, kept, like, come on, like, if you're a B, are you a B word or, like, what? Like, come on, let's go. And I'm like, I'm also not doing this with you.
How does it feel being the Ben Shapiro of the two of us in this podcast?
In what way?
Have you not heard? You haven't seen the Ben Shapiro reading the lyrics to Cardi B's WAP?
No, that's hilarious.
Oh, the chef couldn't make it better. Oh, it was great. He's like, there are some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. My wet P word. My little C word. Like, it's so great.
I didn't know. Is it weird that I didn't think he censored himself?
He censors that because he thinks it's like anti-American morals or some shit. I don't know.
That's interesting. He's another fascinating character to me. But yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I am definitely the what's the word? Not conservative, but like there's definitely some old timey like ideas. Like I censor like crap is like a ooh word. Like it's like a oh.
It's and then I say awful. Like it's such a weird. You think like that is.
You broke up. What?
I was saying this dynamic is such a weird thing. What do you think that is? Where like? Because every time you talk, I'm like I sense this immediate understanding, but there's something different about it, and it seems to be things happening to us.
Yes, it's the nature nurture.
Right, but why the fuck did I have to be?
Why'd you get the bad end? Why'd you get the negative?
Yeah, why did I get the pair of twos and you got the fucking flush? Why? Why is that?
Hey, man, listen, I can't tell you. Sometimes the lottery just likes you. I pulled the thing. You look out in other ways. You have a lot more
You okay? Did you break?
It was one of those things where I was doing a bit, but then I couldn't figure out how to stop the bit. Like, the bit was supposed to be, oh, my life isn't so great. Aaron, you have, and then I can't think of an answer. But then I couldn't, like, find a way to stop the bit, so I just kept being quiet.
You genuinely couldn't think of an answer.
Yeah, I got stuck in the bit. And but, like, okay, so relationship-wise, you've had a better run than I have, technically. He can't think of any wins you have. Yeah, that was the bit. But,
you said relationship-wise?
No, you've definitely had
more.
You've had more quantity. You had way more. That's a win in certain regards.
Quality, though?
Quality, not so much.
No, absolutely not.
But quantity, you're killing it.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, that's because you have it. You have quantity. You can't. Yeah. You're not gonna like the things that you have because you have them. But like, if I had quantity, I'd be like, dope. I have quantity. I have choice. I have options. Like,
do you really think you'd be happy with quantity? Honestly.
Honestly, not truly happy. But
I have a
like,
dog. That's fair.
You have a dog. I don't have a dog, but my roommates have like 2 dogs and 4 cats. it's not any of my animals, but they all are here. But that's not a win to me. I think that's a loss. Having
Oh,
one.
he said your hair is nice. Thank you. That's actually one thing I actually really love about myself.
Yeah. See, look, I can't grow dreads. I don't think.
Zero, my life
Mhm.
is why I'm pro-choice.
If you knew a baby was gonna have your life, you would abort it.
Absolutely.
Really?
Only because in my head, I think I would have been totally comfortable with being aborted or never existing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I
Even
genuinely,
even
and,
even
yeah,
up to this point, even
even with,
knowing that you're going to have a dream of being a comedian and getting there at some point, that doesn't make the rest of it. No.
even knowing that, and it's not in like it used to be in this dour, depressing, shrivel up into a ball, curl into the Afghan way, but now it's more like no, I could have not done this.
That's interesting. I go back and forth case by case, obviously. But if
Yeah.
you ask me in general, I'd say I'm pro choice, but because of the opposite reason. I think I'm pro choice because, like, butterfly effect. I
Mm,
kind of think, like, okay, you didn't have that kid, but, like, you have another kid later, and then that kid has a life. I know that's really weird, but that's kind of how my brain works, is like, that kid didn't get a life, but then another kid did. And if you had the first kid, you probably wouldn't have had the second kid. And the
right.
second kid was me. I think
I
Jesus loves you.
Thank you. So you got that going. Thanks, bro.
Got
No,
that going.
even,
Yeah, let's say
even
positive things about Aaron. I think he has a lot of good things going for him. You're like, how tall are you? You're like
6'2".
six. You're 6'2". That's a
Yeah,
win. That's a
thanks.
win. You're an attractive black man. That's
Not
a
at the
win.
not at the moment.
Well, come on. Nobody notices your little bit of swell on the side of your face.
I fucking notice.
Okay, you know, because you're you.
Yeah.
You're you. Yeah.
But it's not even like, and I really mean this genuinely. I am happy. I'm good. I'm good with my life, and I'm good with
Okay.
where it seems to be going. I'm happy.
But not good enough that it would be worth it.
It's not even that. It's that death, the experience of death is such a terrifying thing. So maybe my feelings of this will
Wait, hold on.
change.
You fear death?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Why?
I don't know. You struck me as a person that's like, that's a part of it. Like a
It
shoulder
is.
shrug.
It's a shitty part of it. It's a shitty part of it. Yeah.
Well, I see that's interesting because I fall on the side of like, it's a part of it, but like that's what makes it beautiful. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah. That's the yin and yang. Yes. And I believe that as well. It is what, like, having a finite amount of something is what makes it appreciated. I understand that.
okay.
But having a finite amount of Quentin Tarantino movies versus having a finite amount of life is mentally a very different thing.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, but also like
You get what I'm saying?
I kind of just got a little. The Quentin Tarantino threw me off. I don't know why, because I went immediately to like, oh, you want less Quentin Tarantino movies? Okay, cool. I'm fine to stop at Django.
No, I love Once Upon a Time, but
I actually
no,
didn't see Once Upon a Time.
fantastic. What I'm saying is like, for me personally, no, I think I would have been okay. The act of not existing, of it being nothing, I'm okay with. A never starting, never ending, just it was nothing to begin with. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But the idea of like, and I think what it is this, whatever this personality is that I had no fucking choice in. That's the thing that is the idea of choice I've been playing with more.
Okay.
In that I did make choices in my life. All the way to this point, I made decisions, and environment affected me, but I made decisions up until a point, and those decisions made me miserable. And I think part of that's on the environment and the situation, part of that's on dumb or bad luck, and part of that's on me and my decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm in a place of, all right, well, I tried every other angle of it. Clearly, there's no other option but me doing stand-up comedy. That is the only thing that is going to make me happy.
Mm.
I don't have a choice in that. I didn't decide that stand-up comedy was the thing I need to do. Mm. Just like Mike Tyson didn't have the choice, and I'm not saying I'm Mike Tyson of comedy or anything, but Mike Tyson.
Once again, we have another classic Aaron comparing himself to a great and then going, not like I'm amazing. Don't think I don't notice you planting.
That's what it is. But honestly, do you think Mike Tyson would have wanted to be, if you could take Mike Tyson out of being Mike Tyson, would Mike Tyson have wanted to be the person he is? Because that's a hard existence to have. Same with Steve-O, same with fucking, you could list all of these crazy people who, like, there was no other, that was it. Steve-O was going to be fucking Steve-O, or he's going to be dead. Those were the options. For me, it feels like I'm going to be me or I'm going to be dead. And being me is also dangerous and fucking crazy.
Interesting. I believe that you're going to be you, but I think you could choose to be any of those things. I think they did choose the things they chose. So Mike Tyson chose to be a boxer. And it's like says like that's all he could be, or like that's what people will put on it. It's like you're so gonna be that, and you excelled in that because you thought this is all I can be. But I think that's a personality type that's more like you picked your thing. You were gonna feel that way about. I think Mike Tyson could have equally have been, if he put that same energy towards another thing, whatever that other thing is. I think he could have been that too. I don't think he wouldn't have been as legendary, maybe, because again, you also got to roll the dice on life that is situations. But like at the same time, I'm not a person who believes that like people are destined to be a thing. Like I'm kind of like you have a thing, and you are pushing it as hard as you can because you love it so much. Or like that's your only, like you said, your only option to you. But I don't actually believe that's your only option. I kind of fall on the line of like, you have way more choice than you think you do. And the moment you realize that is the moment that like you're free to do the things.
I disagree because I made those choices on so many other things. I tried out I knew in my head from a little kid, Mike Tyson, Pigeon Master. That's me. I'm Pigeon Master, babe. No, but in my I'll tell you later. It's a whole other thing.
Oh, okay.
So since a little kid, I always knew I wanted to do that.
What was your first stand-up experience? You have 5 minutes.
That was very formal, Zero. That was very sounded like a professor there.
You have 5 minutes. Complete.
We might need to start up again. But my first like on stage thing, my first realization.
No. You're a little kid. What made you go?
I was in first or second grade, and I was in French class because I went to a private school and pretentious, and I should have been taking Spanish, is what I'm saying. And yeah, and the teacher said, Aaron, how do you say A in French? The letter A. And I said, and she said, that's correct. And everyone laughed. That is never leaving my fucking brain. I remember like, okay, that's it. And I didn't have the maturity. I didn't have the maturity or the life experience or the knowledge of what it was. I know that sounds strange.
No, it's not strange. It's so on the nose. Like you know, there was a joke have you ever seen the show Community?
A little bit.
Okay, so there's a joke in an episode where one of the main characters, like she has this ex-boyfriend that she hasn't gotten over. And they mention, she's like, yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend. His name is Blade. And the whole table starts laughing. And then one girl says, oh, I'm sorry. Like, It's just there are some things in this world that are funny because they make no sense, and that's not one of them. And it's like the idea that where it's like, it's funny because of course you did. Like,
Yeah.
of course that moment stuck out to Aaron. Given
Yeah.
your whole life story, of course, the moment that, like, people laughed and had a good time from you and enjoyed you and you got the validation of being like, yeah, like, of course you like that and it stuck out.
Yeah.
So go ahead. That just so on the nose.
For me, it was like at that moment, everyone else getting confused about what they wanted to do and trying to figure shit out. Every time I heard I'm undeclared, I'm like, bitch, what? Like, I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I was really little. And I said I wanted to keep doing it. No matter, everyone kept fucking pushing me in other ways.
I know this is a weird tangent. Do you think, they always make that joke, but do you think that there has to have been like one little girl or boy who like felt that same way about like stripping? Like they were on like the playground or something.
Yeah,
then,
when someone ripped their shirt.
They ripped their shirt and everybody went, ooh, and they were like, I like this feeling. And then they were like, you're undeclared? I know what I'm going to do.
Going over to the sandbox, trading like training bras for pieces of chocolate and shit.
Or like some kid slipped them some money like in a breast pocket and they were like, I like the way that feels.
It would have had to been a quarter because no kid had more than a quarter as a kid. Regardless.
Hey, go ahead.
I always fucking knew. Always. Mm-hmm. And that's what like pisses me off about my environment is look, I'm not saying people had to be encouraging, but then leave me the fuck alone. What's up?
I disagree. I think they needed to be encouraging.
I mean, sure, yeah, but for me it was as simple as just leave me the fuck alone and I will find my way. I would, because you know how my brain works at this point. I'm like, oh, I want to do a thing, and I just go start doing the thing, and I'll figure it out. Right. But when everybody's dogpiling on you as a kid, they're like, no, hold on, you come back here. It's like there's only so much strength a child can have, and so I'm in this weird place of like, that's why for me it's like, no, I'd have been okay with not existing because this is exhausting. Maybe I'll feel different when I'm past all of it. I'm sure I will. But at this point in my life, not in a bad way or a cynical way, just in a, no, I did not choose any of this. Okay. In a way, I did not have a choice.
Right. So we're going to have to stop, come right back. For those of you in the chat, give us like 10 seconds. We'll be right back.
So the feeling, this weird feeling of, and I think that the world is a mixture of fate and choice, but I'm starting to feel like there are certain people in this world who never had a choice, who lean more into, for whatever reason, whose psyche, personality, spirit, whatever you want to call it, fucking dumb luck, whatever you want to call it, lean into fate more than choice. And it really feels like, for me at this point, that, and I know that sounds mystical and I sound like I'm up my own ass, like there's scrolls written about me in the ancient temples, like one day Aaron Chase.
Well, no, I mean, I think there's a certain amount of, like, there's the mystical, fantastical version, right? And I do have, I mean, obviously I'm a spiritual person, I'm a Christian, but at the same time, I also do believe that, like, if you line out the dominoes of somebody and you know how their brain works, there is kind of, like, of course they're gonna, like, you know, it's like, if you're the type of person who likes the color blue and here's a shirt that you like, it's like at a certain point you are just doing like mathematics. It is kind of fate that you would choose the thing that aligns with all of the things that you are. So at a certain point you do and don't have choice. If you're you the way that you say you're you, and then I give you all the things that you want, why would you not? It's kind of like basic marketing, short, like purchasing. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it's there's this feeling I get in my head. Sometimes that feeling is a why me, And then sometimes it's like, why me? And sometimes it's like, oh, hold on one second. I think I got to get it. Oh, I got.
I assume he's got a job. That happens from time to time because Aaron has a job. As most Americans, well, that's not even true, especially now, as people trying to survive in an American culture. So I think I'm going to give it like 5 minutes of just me talking. And if he doesn't come back, then I'm going to chalk it up to it from us. And that will be the end of the episode. Yes, he's already gone. So if he comes back in the next 5, then we'll have him finish his thought and then we'll wrap it up. In the meantime, in the green time, I guess he's back already. I was going to just talk. Yes.
I can't skip jobs.
No, I get it. Like, again, no, I would never ask you to do that for this podcast at its point.
That was like the Great Depression. This is like the Great Depression of technology. You know what I mean? Like whatever the equivalent of that did happen in the 20s or the 30s or whenever the fuck the Great Depression happened, where they got a letter and they were like, everyone shut the fuck up. Hold on.
That was great timing. Yeah.
But, what was I saying? No, there's this like, fuck man, do you, any reasonable person after getting punched without knowing who it, would never do it again. And you know I'm going to fucking do it again. I'm going to find ways to make sure I'm safer. I'm going to continue to do that. But like, there is no other choice. And that fucking bothers me. That bothers me that in my own existence, it's like, yes, I have a choice. I could just not, but I'm going to get depressed and I'm going to want to fucking kill myself. So there is no other choice.
Okay, well, those are the options. But like,
and so it's like, I hope I get successful because otherwise it's going to suck for a long time.
I mean, listen, either way, well, that's okay, but that's the thing. And that's where this is completely tangential. How much is success a part of your thing? Like for the depression and sadness and all this stuff and how important it is to you. Like, if you spent all the way up into the tail end and you weren't like successful, would you be like that was still worth it, or was it not worth it?
What do you mean by successful?
I mean, whatever. I know this is gonna sound like a cop out to the question that is the question, but it's like whatever your personal definition of success is. Because obviously, like, it doesn't mean being rich. I think, again, this is me from what I've heard. I believe your definition of successful is just that you can pay your bills pretty consistently and continue to do stand-up. If there's never a point where it's paying your bills, if it's always just kind of this side thing that you do where you do talk to people, but it's not making you money like that, would that still be worth it to you?
I know this is going to sound weird and maybe even cocky, but that's impossible to me.
Okay.
That's literally not possible.
But in a world where it was possible.
Fair enough. In a world where it was possible, where I never got to the point where I'm living off of it, would it be worth the pursuit?
Would you still feel like you had no choice to keep doing it if it didn't end up paying your bills?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's literally paying my bills right, or it was paying my bills right now. So yeah. That's
cool.
And it was. That's the other thing that sucks about it is like I got it. As much as it was helping monetarily as well, I got to hold off for a second. I feel like the universe is saying, "Hey, man, give it a second."
Also, time out. Flag on the play. Have people been giving you money?
Yeah.
Like,
I have been. Yeah.
Like in a hat?
In a little bucket.
So they just kind of, as they walk by, they drop a couple?
If they want it, there's different types. You know how there's different types of hecklers?
Yes.
There's different types of donators.
Huh.
So there's yeah. Do you want me to break them down?
Sure. If
All
you
right.
care. Again,
Yeah.
I didn't know we had reached that level.
There's oh yeah. That's why I've been doing it. So like this has literally become a big part of my income.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Well, it was. But
I mean, it will be
yeah,
again.
it will. There are the high, like there's the people that put a good amount of money in so that they have power. I know I'm starting off negative. Don't worry, I have positives after this. But there's
Okay.
people who will, like, obnoxious people or drunk people or people that want the spotlight but don't have the skill will put a
Yeah.
lot of money and then start acting obnoxious because they know they've put a lot of money in. To the point where there have been times when I have to politely be like, I can't do what you're. I've had people sing.
Oh.
You look like Omarion. Sing. And it's like, I took the money out and I was like, I'm not a singer. It's no offense. I don't want to take your money if I'm not entertaining you in the way you need me. Like, I had to really be like, all right, man, calm down. In my face about it too. It's weird. So I've had that. There's people that like drop $1 or two in. They see. I don't know if they hear me or if they just see the work and they're like, he deserves $1 or two. There's people who drop like secretively a lot. The little guardian angels, I call them. They drop a lot of money when I'm not looking. That happens sometimes. Yeah, I think that's because people it's the type of stuff I talk about. I think it puts people in a really emotional state. And because of the way the world is, that's already massaged those emotions. Like there's these their emotions are heightened right now. They're really high. And so if you tap into that, you can really, that bird was here. When you tap into that, it really affects people. It's interesting. There's the people who sit for long periods of time, and it's almost like a show for them. It's like, this is my first time getting live entertainment in months. So they sit down and they're like watching, they're listening, they're like interacting, and then they drop a amount of money that would have been like, oh shit, you were the opener at the Improv or whatever. Like a reasonable amount of money.
Right.
Then every now and again, I get white whales, people that are like an amount of money I don't feel comfortable saying, to be perfect. Like a money that's like, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
But wow. Like, I'm not going to say, yeah, this is a lot of money to be given to me right now. Are you sure? I say, are you sure? Over and over again. Because I don't want to be like held. I don't want to be sucking their dick in the back alley or anything, like, so it ranges. It ranges from a lot of different type of people, but ultimately, because I'm out there for so long, it's become my income.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. So I know I'll be happy as a comic because I'm happy.
Okay. Well, that's interessante. I feel like I had a follow-up, but you were going to say something before I interrupted with that. I was asking about the importance of it. If success is a part of it for you, it's not really. I got nothing. Anyway.
I think we were talking about fate, essentially.
Okay.
It's the reason I at this point in my life, and I actually get the feeling that whenever I get to what I deem as success, there's still going to be problems in my life. Like at no point is your life going to be perfect. But when I get to the place that I view as success, I think that I might change my mind on that. But I haven't gotten there, so I don't know what it would feel like.
Yeah. I mean, journey.
Right.
But, it's all very fascinating. I will say that. Man, I don't know what happened between that conversation and what was before it, but like I buzzed myself out. Did you have any other last wrap up thoughts, I guess?
No, not right now. I'm mostly just tired.
Okay. Well then, I guess we'll call it an episode then, you guys. Thanks for tuning in again to another episode of A to Z. We learned a lot today. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to burp, but I always do. Again, my name is Zero Remsen. You can find me at @0_KR Anime or on YouTube under Zero Remsen. You can find my partner here, Aaron Chase, at Aaron Chase 91, also on YouTube, also on Podbean. You can listen to the ACMM podcast, and you can find this podcast as a whole on the Buddy System Comedy YouTube page. So if you're ever looking for any of the other episodes, we talk about a lot of different stuff. So go check that out. That's been the episode. Thank you for listening. Salut.